How's it going, YouTube? Here's Belcher with another video for you guys. It has been a while since I put out a real video. This is going to be another deck voting video. It's two mono decks. Whichever gets the most vote, just like previous before. I would try and play that at our this coming up weekend's league tournament, which is held on Sundays at Comic Asylum around noon, I believe. So yeah, two decks, both mono as I said before. One is mono black or purple, depending however you want to call it, and the other one is mono red. I chose these two mono colors just because they both fit my playing style. I like the aggro, rush type of build, and also the control, the hand discard build as well. So of course darkness is the hand discard, and red is of course the rush, which I believe with the red is like a pure, almost a pure Drakon deck, and with the purple slash darkness mono deck, it's pure Chimera. So we're gonna start with the darkness one. We're gonna start with the spells, work our way up to the plain creatures, and then all the Chimera baits and evolution creatures. Alright, so here we go. So starting off with the spells, we got 3 bone blades. As Preston said before, his main importance is the bone blades and return to soil. Both of them are coming back because of all the evos being low cost but high power. So these are like the cheap way and just an extra shield blast you can use to get rid of those pesky evos like Neuron, Laser Arm, Drakon, and so forth. So 3 bone blades. I have 2 Return from Beyond. At the moment I am kind of testing it out. It's been working somewhat okay depending on which deck I play against. But like if you play against like something that bounce or puts into mana, it doesn't really help with the deck. So I might change it into 2 Dark Returns. But right now I like how it is so far. I played against red, and when most of my blockers die, I can always bring it back whenever for free if they're breaking my shields, or sometimes I might have to hard cast it. But 2 Return from Beyond is good for right now. And I do have just 1 smoke. Since I am playing the Chimera Evo and all that bait, there's a lot of come into play kill abilities, and I do have some shield triggers that does kill my opponents or banish my opponent's creatures, I should say. But just in case if I don't have it, and also for the pesky dragon deck for hyper speed, and some of the other more annoying evos for like Beastkin, I have that 1 dark death smoke to get rid of my opponent's creatures. And of course 3 Terror Pits, always a staple whenever you're playing darkness slash purple. There's really nothing much to say about that, just 3 pits. Real good shield triggers. And then 2 Skull Shatter. It is a hand discard, so sometimes I might not be able to get rid of the hand soon, so I can always build up to 8 mana, and sometimes they have a massive hand like you're playing against mono blue or something with a lot of draw power. Just get up to 8 mana, discard your opponent's hand, and then you can use the other discard cards you have in the deck to just occasionally keep them down to 0, or at least as less cards as possible. So those are my spells for darkness. We're going to go with all the Chimera bait and then Evo. 3 was it Gigabolver, the one for 3,000. He's a nice little, I guess, anti-rush card. He is a 1 cost, of course, and 3,000, so you can basically get rid of almost any, close to any creatures on my opponent's side for rush or aggro. Unfortunately, there is that new red card that's called Lava Leaper, I believe, which is a 2 for 1 that cannot be attacked by anything 3,000 or less. So he falls short against that. But other than that, he can basically get rid of any of the other creatures early game, and also helps with my blockers for early game as well. So he's a good, I guess, Chimera bait. And then Scavenging Chimera, the pump for pure mana, pure darkness, or purple mana. Whenever he attacks, I get to return a creature from my graveyard or discard pile back to my hand, as long as I have all darkness or purple mana in my mana zone. And he also gets a power of plus 2,000, so he's at 3,000 as well. So another little mini beat stick for those rush and aggro decks, always useful. And then we get to Gigastan, which now a lot of people I'll start playing him because of the Evos. Buddy was at Card Academy. He's the first one I've seen playing it before Evo Fury came out, inside his control deck, and I saw it and I liked it, and I'm not gonna lie, I will steal it if I ever build a similar control deck like him. But very good card. Attacks, discard a card. It's just like Aqua Seneschal of the darkness. You get to discard a card from your opponent's hand, so always useful to keep that control of your opponent's hand. And we have two Screeching Bat Breath, or Screeching Scare Adorable, my bad. Two Screeching Scare Adorables. Hopefully you guys can see that. Very good, coming to play. Mainly main key against rush and certain aggro builds. And since most of the new bait are about 2 costs or less, that is very useful against that as well. So good to try and keep the board balanced or gain control for your side. And then speaking of Bat Breath Scare Adorable, 2 of him as well. Very good for those for like anti-blockers, is to get through your opponent's blockers to get rid of those creatures. And I haven't played with this card for a while, so I'm glad to start playing with him for this darkness / purple deck. So 2 Bat Breaths, very useful. And then 2 Dark Scare Adorables comes into play. Destroy a shield, very nice whenever it comes to late game. They have that 1 shield left, and you just have like possibly 2-3 creatures against 2 or 3 of their blockers, so to make sure you try to run over them, you get rid of that last shield. And then if there's not a shield ability that will remove a creature from play, then you basically will win against 2 of their blockers. And I do have 3 more bait Scare Adorables or Chimeras, but that's going to be with the playing creatures with my blockers, so I'm going to show you that a little bit later. But with the Evo, 3 Hydra Medusa, like everyone's keep on calling it, the Terror Pit on wheels. Very good, I love it. Reminds me of the Chaos Worm deck from the Duel Master days, from playing it. So I like the card a lot. I'm happy they brought it back. I like the artwork as well. The artwork on most of the cards are very great, very enjoyable to look at. So 3 of those. And then 1 Tekimora the Wretched. 1 because I only have 1 for right now, so maybe if I get another one I might add it in, maybe take something out, I'm not sure. But 1 I'm pretty sure is good for right now, because I mainly use the Chaos Worm. I hardly even use this one, even though it is a beat stick and the effects might come in handy for certain decks you might play against. But right now I like the 3 Chaos Worm. This is just a little extra just for beat sticks if I ever have to play against an opponent with a big enough creatures. I have my big creature, if I can't kill it, just to run over theirs. Next is the playing creatures and blockers. So here's the other 3 Chimera bait, which is a Scare Adorable of Gloom Hollow, which everyone knows and loves. As a blocker that can attack, and anything that's 4 costs or less, nothing happens to the battle. It just stays there and freeze for the moment of time. So very useful for that. My next blocker is Skeeter Swarmer. I chose Skeeter Swarmer because it's a cheap blocker with decent power, and if it dies I can use that Return the Beyond spell to bring it back either that same turn or cast it myself and just bring it back that way if I don't have any other blockers. So just a nice little chunky blocker right there. And then I have 2 fumes and 2 razorkinder puppets. These are my other discards I have in my deck. I chose not to do Spectre Claw because I really don't think I need it with Giga Stand and Fumes, Razorkinder, and then maybe even Skull Shatter. I'm pretty sure I can get rid of the hands one way or another, so I think that the 2, 2, and 2 count of discard, and then the 3 creature attacking, so I think that's be good enough discard. I don't want to have too many deck cards in hands, having 4 evos, and then have too many spells where I don't draw a creature when I need it. So I just chose those 2, 2, and 2. And then the main key for the draw, which right now I chose to play just 2 Black Feather, Shadow of Abyss. Just because I'm trying to keep the decks thin right now. I believe it's at 42, which probably won't make much of a difference at 43, but I'm trying to keep it as close to 40 as possible. And I pretty much have a decent hand because I usually always chose to go second, depending on the decks, of course. But 2 Black Feather is pretty good. And that's the pure purple / darkness deck. And I'm going to try my best to type in the description below. And hopefully I will have time to be able to do that. If not, I do apologize. I might try to edit the video next time to add the description. But we're going to move on to the fire deck. The pure Drakon build rush deck. Starting off with spells, of course, with 3 comet missiles. Very useful. Get rid of my opponent's creatures, mainly blockers, of course, that would get in the way for me to break their shields. And then 3 tornado flame. I chose this one over rock bite just because that with tornado flame I get to destroy a bigger creature. Most of the creatures that are 3,000 or less, it's not going to do me much harm because I can mainly run over them with the creatures you're seeing in a minute, or I'm able just to cancel out. They would have to like attack my creatures, and both of our creatures would be in the discard pile. So that's why I chose 3 tornado flames, and then 2 barrages, mainly for that mass control. If I play against another rush deck, this comes in handy, or another aggro deck. In some control builds, most of the creatures are pretty low power, so again, barrage will come in handy to trying to keep the balance or gain control of the field. Alright, and then going to the creatures, of course, 3 blaze belchers. That's where I got my name from this card. 3 blaze belchers, 1 for 1. Attack every turn if able. Very good, and always nice to get that first hand. And then 2 Kianas. I chose 2 Kianas because some of my creatures are pretty low powered, so if it comes to where they can't go over a blocker, my main goal is trying to go over the blocker as much as possible, if any, and just break shields as much as I can every turn if possible. So with the Kiana, I'm able to do that. It gives my creature plus 2,000, so either way cancel out with the blocker, or it can go over it and they choose to let it go through so they can attack it next turn. Hopefully it gives me another turn to play more creatures to go through those blockers that's already tapped. And then the 3 lava leapers, as I mentioned earlier, very good. Been watered down from the Duel Master's effect. They have a bird that did the exact same thing, but it cannot be attacked, period. It can only be with effects, spells, or blocked. So with this one, if you have a 4,000 or more creature, you can attack it. But still, in early game, most creatures are about 3,000 or less, so it will have a couple of turns of survival unless it runs into a blocker. And then the new Rickaboo, 3 jet thrust darter, 3 for 1, always useful. I usually get that top deck when they're down to 1 shield or none, and they have either no blockers or maybe 1 and I have 1 creature. I usually get this on top of my deck as when I burn out my hand, and I usually play it, of course, and then go for game because I have 2 creatures against a 1 or no blockers. Okay, and then we're gonna start doing the Drakon, or the Drakon bait, and then show you the Evo after that. 3 was it jetflame bodyguard. At first I was not playing him because I thought, well, he's skirmisher, he can't attack shields, so what's the point? Then I started testing it out a little bit, and then it started looking at, oh, he can come out 4th turn if I have just 4 mana, if I play against a bounce deck and they just keep on bouncing my creatures, and when I get 4 mana I can play the Evo right off the bat instead of waiting the 5th turn like with most Drakon baits. So he does come out pretty useful in the long run. And 3 cliffcutters. Cliffcutters, he gets a little power boost if I have an Evo on the field. I do play 4 Evos in this deck, so it does happen quite a few times. And just another 2-drop as well, 2 for 1. Little winning creatures. 3 Drakon weaponsmith. Power up plus 2,000. So if I get that either the bird or this next Drakon creature out, he gets up to 5,000. He gets to go around and go through those blockers. It's a very good 2-drop. It's the most power up that I can get for the deck, since all my creatures are Drakon, is blastforge slaver. Gives all my Drakon creatures plus 2,000 power. So like I said, with the weaponsmith, be at 3,000, and when it attacks 5,000. It's a very good card. Happy that it only costs 3. And then the new Drakon warchief. Since all my cards are red and my mana would be pure red as well, that it would be a fast attack when it comes out, and when it attacks it would be at plus 2,000 more, so it would be at 5,000 altogether. And then we have that Drakon tribe out, it'd be at 7,000, so it'd be a little bit better than gilaflame. It stays on the board, and it can cancel out or run over the neuron, and sometimes even saber-tooth, the saber-tooth beastkin Evo. And then 2 gilaflames to run it out. I only chose 2 because I mainly want my creatures to stay on board, not having to go back to my hand. It is a useful effect most of the time, but I'm mainly a kind of person like my creatures stay on board for them to find a way to get rid of it. If they can't, then I'll just have more creatures for next turn and hopefully be able to break more shields after that. Now to the Evos, I have just 1 blastforge slaver, or blastforge captain, my bad, and 3 laser arm Drakon. I chose this count because of the low 3 cost. I wanted more of him because I'd rather have that beat stick out there that's a double breaker and plus 2,000, so it'll be at 6,000 when it attacks. Even though the effect is really good, most of my opponents, by the time at 5th turn, their creatures would be 3,000 or more, so I might be able to just kill that 1 creature, but if I can get that plus 1, it'd be great. But that's mainly late game, if they survive after the 5th or 6th turn. Usually with this deck, I'm lucky enough to get the 1, 2, 3 drop, and then draw into the 4th drop or more speed attackers or another Evo. So I'm very surprised if after 6th turn they're not either at 0 shields or they're against the wall and not able to get rid of the creatures on the field or the creatures in my hands, because most of the time it's a speed attacker. So let me know what you guys think about the 2 decks, and comments if you think I should play something else different or change something on the card. So please do vote, comment of course like I said, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. You can either vote on this video or vote on my Twitter, just at Belcher. And just again, let me know what you guys think, and the winner of the decks will be my deck that I would play in the tournament this weekend, and I will let you know how it turned out. If nothing else, it's probably play test with a couple of local players over there. But yeah, just please let me know what you guys think, comment, and I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you guys will have a good night. Bye.